This week we're taking a look at a proverbial statement by Jesus in Luke chapter 7 verse 35. He's talking about John the Baptist, and before we get to that statement we need to read some context. So let's begin with verses 31 and 32. The readings today are from the ESV. To what then shall I compare the people of this generation, and what are they like? They are like children sitting in the marketplace and calling to one another, we played the flute for you and you did not dance. We sang a dirge and you did not weep. In other words, you're criticized no matter what you do. This generation is like people who will criticize you for failing to dance or failing to mourn. Whether you're up or whether you're down, whatever you're doing, it's not right. Moving on, let's look at verses 33 and 34, where he gets more concrete. For John the Baptist has come eating no bread and drinking no wine, and you say he has a demon. The Son of Man has come eating and drinking, and you say, look at him, a glutton and a drunkard, a friend of tax collectors and sinners. So not eating and drinking is bad, and eating and drinking is bad. So no matter what you do, you're doing wrong. The message from Jesus about this generation is that they're incongruous in their judgments, their discernment is questionable, and then he makes this proverbial statement in verse 35. Yet wisdom is justified by all her children. So before we look at it in Koine, what is a proverb? A proverb is a statement that is always true. And for example, a stitch in time saves 9. What does that mean? It means as soon as you see a problem, if you fix it, you will prevent the problem from getting worse and requiring more efforts to fix it. And the inverse of a proverb is always true. So a stitch not in time, if you let the problem go longer, it'll get worse and will require even more effort to fix it and maybe not be fixable at all. So here's this proverbial statement, yet wisdom is justified by all her children. Let's take a look at it in Koine. Kai idakai othe he Sophia apopanton ton teknon autes. So the subject in this proverb is he Sophia, the wisdom. Wisdom personified. So that is our subject. The verb edikaiote is an aorist, passive, indicative, third person singular. And by itself we would translate it, she, he, or it was justified. But notice the ESV translates it is justified. And our expectation might be that it should be in the future tense. Wisdom shall be justified by all her children. But here what we have is what's called a gnomic aorist. It's how we know that this is a proverb. A gnomic aorist is describing a condition that is sort of a rule or a law. This is something that's always true. It's a proverbial statement. What is it saying? Wisdom is always justified by all her children. This is sort of a rule for understanding. You'll be able to know whether wisdom was a good parent. You'll be able to know whether wisdom actually existed by the way that the kids turn out, right? That's sort of how we know that. I want to pause for a second and give a shout out to friend of the channel, Lucas. I'd like you to notice here, Lucas, that Hey Sophia is a feminine noun, and the pronoun to describe the children is a feminine pronoun, autes. Now, it's a feminine noun, it's not a female noun, so it's not saying that wisdom is a woman, but wisdom, because it's a feminine noun, has a feminine pronoun, and this proverbial statement is true about male parents too. You'll be able to tell whether the parents' judgments and decision-making and values and parenting was right and good based on how the kids turn out as a general rule, right? If the parenting was bad, don't expect the kids to turn out well. So why does any of this matter? because it takes time to know whether the parenting was good or not. You have to see the kids grow up before they either justify the parenting or don't justify the parenting, right? They'll prove the parenting to be right and righteous eventually, or they won't. But it's going to take time for the kids to mature for you to be able to pass judgment on the parenting. Were they wise? It will be seen in the way the kids turn out. So you know wisdom as wisdom when you get to see wisdom's grown-up kids. What does that matter here? Jesus is talking to the Pharisees about their judgments of himself and of John the Baptist, and ultimately what we'll know about the Pharisees' discernment and decision making is when we see the Jesus story reach maturity. When it's all said and done, were the Pharisees' judgments about John the Baptist and about Jesus right, or were they wrong? It's going to come to be seen over time. So what do we know about their judgments? They condemned John the Baptist for not eating and drinking. They condemned Jesus for eating and drinking. They rejected the front runner of the Messiah and of the Messiah. I think it can be safely said at this point in time that they lacked wisdom, and that their grown children will show that they were not wise in their judgments and their decisions and their discernment. Right. So thanks for watching. I hope that was interesting for you. If it was, please like, share, subscribe, leave me some feedback in the comments. And remember that thing about Proverbs. The inverse is always true. If if wisdom is justified by all her children, then a lack of wisdom, foolishness, will not be justified by all her children. Her children will grow up in foolishness and not in wisdom. And that will become evident to everyone. Thanks again. Until next time, Charis Kairene Humin, grace and peace to you.